Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome back to Magic the Gathering, where misery is the order of the day every day. I was wondering about, like, if I should do the change in my deck with the mana creating green boy, whose name escapes me all over again. The 4 mana Accomplished Alchemist. Add X mana of any one color, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. It was very, very useless in the game I played just now. But I guess I can see a time when it can be useful in a different scenario. Like any scenario where I have no more than 4 mana to spare, or I have had 4 mana in the previous turn, rather, in some manner. Especially if I've had a treasure mana, and then I had like 3 mana to spare the other time, used something to create, I don't know, 5 life, 6 life, it could be even more, and then tap this to get 6 mana from it to play everything else from my hand. Like, there is a point to this, provided I don't meet a table wipe when I lose all of my cards to that, but like there... It has had now 1 appearance in a very, 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 very long time. It wasn't useful then at all. It was basically a dead card. But I want to get a little more data from it. It just hasn't seen any chances to see play. It's been on play once. I think I've like scried it to the bottom maybe once, but I'm not even sure if that happened. Not good, but I get something in the second turn. We'll see. We can see what happens. Doesn't look promising, though. Nothing on the first turn is always bad, especially if they get some, which looks like they're gonna. Cleric class or a Lunarch veteran or a Soul Mender. Yeah, that works too. This is gonna be... I'm gonna take the risk. The game has mana drawed me so badly recently that if I'm gonna not be able to play anything on the first turn anyway, I might as well do something that's interesting with it. Why did you not attack, though? That's odd. It's easy to forget to use the Soul Mender, it seems. It always stops because they can use a Soul Mender, which you should. Surely you should, right? There you go. I guess that's the answer, though. They waited for it to be a blocking option. If that's fair. Activate all currencies, blah blah blah. Enter the battlefield. You guys seek a land card, the basic land. So okay. Yeah, that's very good. Very overpowered as all of the mythic cards tend to be, except the ones I own. I own only underpowered mythic cards, though. It's very, very important to make that distinction. Well, at least we have a game going, but I'm very much on the back foot still, and I'm losing. We will see. We will see. Right. Okay, an interesting set of cards we have to play here, but let's go for it. go, and then him. You can't just press resolve all, my guy. Okie dokie. They probably do have a sorcery that, or an instant that's something along the lines of add counters and then do damage from a creature to a creature. That can be what they were wondering about. They might be using that now, because Righteous Valkyrie is pretty dangerous if they don't remove it. I probably won't be able to kill them outright in the next turn, but it's gonna be close if they don't get more life. Right, exile Righteous Valkyrie from the get-go, and then we have a game, right? Yeah. It's still really expensive as an exiling card. I often wonder, like, I used to run that, but it's less, like, I guess if you keep it alive, you can have a useful card with it, but only if, you know? Right. Do you want to kill some of my stuff, or do you want to let that go?
Try not to miss me.
I don't think they can do the deck wipe because they have only one white mana, though. I think you can foretell it, but you can't play it without at least two white mana, I think. The Doom Scar or whatever. That's not a terrible call if you can't play much. It's not a kill yet, though. It's a deep, deep hurt, but it's not a kill, though. Right on. I want to keep the one card in there because I want to have the ability to discard stuff if that comes to that, and discarding the planes is not hurtful to me. I have them all the mana I could ever need anyway. Now I'll probably keep drawing land for the foreseeable future, so it's gonna be a little bit annoying to play this, but we'll see how it all goes. Okay, which do you want to sacrifice per? I'd sacrifice maybe the innkeeper if I were you. The others seem more valuable. Do you have a plus, like a death touch adding or something in there? Or, yeah, indestructible. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, Tamio's or Kamio. Yeah, Tamio's safekeeping. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. With it doesn't really matter which one you use for the thing anyway. So yeah, cool. It's gonna be interesting because there's an honest chance I'll pull a lot of land here. I haven't played more than, yeah, I've played 5, I have the 6th one in there, which means I have within the deck of 46 cards, I have about 80, no, not 18. 6. I played 6, 14, yeah, see? Yeah. Lands ahoy. I have 14 lands, I think, in there, so it's gonna be a lot of that. And they can absolutely come back. You have Tamio safekeeping, yes? Why would you... That was the one card you shouldn't. Like, that and Lucamina, or whatever her name is. Those the ones you really shouldn't. Between the Core Celebrant and Innkeeper, I guess it's kind of a so-and-so, but, Because by tapping it, you always get 1 life per turn. That is a strange block. Are you intending to resurrect it by... But even then, why would you do that instead of... Very weird. Right. Right on. I think they still easily can win this. Like they're very close all the time to overpowering what I can defend though, so okie dokie. I mean, I do give them a lot of kudos for going toward, like, they probably have a pretty good, like, a heavy hitter somewhere in there that they're hoping to pull, because at this point it's starting to look kind of bad for them unless they have that, and they easily could. They could have the Phyrexian Doobly-Doo, which would end the strengthening of my guys. They could have the table wipe. They still don't have the mana to play it, though. It's really strange, though. Alright, cool. Yeah, I kind of agree. Unless they had a heavy hitter in there, now is just starting to look really bad. They had only 3 people left. They'd lose 1 per each block of the Voice of the Blessed and of the Hallowed Priest. Unless they had a heavy hitter or a table wipe. They could have, though. But I feel like they really went far to keep going at that, so I kudos to that for sure. They really, really went to see how far they could go. Alright, 6 wins, 4 to go. I no longer remember if that was really a comeback story or not. I started slower than they did, but it eventually got somewhere. I lost my Righteous Valkyrie pretty early on. That wasn't good, but I feel like I've met this one before, but I have no memory if it was a good match or a bad match. Well, I get something on the field in the beginning. That's more than I can usually say. Oh, another white one. I wonder if those are, deck wipe stuff. We'll see. Mm-hmm. The Book of Exalted Deeds. That is cheating. I'm leaving. That should be removed from the game. I have won a game against that, but it's the 3 mana artifact that says you can't lose the game. It literally says so. You can't lose the game and the opponent can't win. Therefore, no matter what happens, you always win if you use that card. That is literally pay to win. So I've had a similar thing happen. Well, not really. I've had a couple of like a vaguely uh like familial things to what that is. Like I've had a couple of games where I had the opponent use like a discard card mechanic, and then it didn't really change the game for them, and then they quit. And my theory is that their brother or a burglar came in and punched them off of the computer and quit the game for them because they realized that the player was using unsportsmanlike garbage human tactics and they need to be expired from the world for it. Even if they're a brother, they know this stuff. Sister, just as exactly as well. They know that that person needs to go in the oven, burn, 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 burn. But that is interesting. I've never had that happen where someone plays a cheap pay-to-win mythic card that should obviously be banned, that should obviously not be in the game, should simply be just thrown out into the bit space only in historic or in whatever super specific BS format should it be played in. And they perfectly had the game in hand. There was nothing in nothing in the game suggested it was going to go bad, and then they just quit. What? Like, have they had it happen a lot when people start dragging their feet with them to make sure they use the maximum amount of time as they're fighting him as he uses that card? Is that what has happened? Like, that's the only reasonable thing I mean, obviously their brother or sister could have entered the room, seen that they used that card, and just sliced their head open with a knife or something. Like, that is perfectly a reasonable thing that could happen, because they're, like, most brothers and sisters, by just statistics, know that shouldn't be played, and people who play them should be burnt. So, there's a rationale in that scenario, but that's still so odd. I'll take the win, I really need it. I'm not in the mood of fighting the BS fights against BS pay-to-win decks, but that is really, really odd. Huh. And I got a rare card for it too. Let's see what it is. Riveter's Ascendancy. Black, red, green, enchantment. Whenever you sacrifice a creature, you may return target creature a card with lesser mana value from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped with only once each turn. I don't like these cards. 3 mana cards are just not good. No. I don't care that it's supposedly easy to use 3 colored decks these days. I don't think this is good. I have many of these already. At least one of these I do have, and I don't see myself using them, especially because I prefer white cards. Black, red, green is like, I'd maybe take black, green, white, but I don't know. And even then, just make it 2 colors, come on. Oh well. I may have met that before, but I'm not sure. Not quite a good start. I can't put anything in the field in the beginning, but what can you do? I think that pet rings a bell. I think I've seen them before. Hmm. The World Tree. That is that is an interesting lander to go with. If they get 10 mana total, 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, 2 green, they sacrifice the World Tree and search your library for any number of god cards and put them all into the battlefield. That is a really crazy move. I don't really know what to... Like, that is a pretty weird card. That's for damn sure. I should put this one in here, because that way I can get both the Gala creatures and Voice of the Blessed in the field next turn. That's a mana play. Interesting. Right. So now they have 3 mana practically. What's that enough to do? Murder at least one thing. Although blue and white, well, probably at least enchant 1 to do nothing ever again. Maybe even 2. I don't know. They did not leave. That never happens. They're thinking. They didn't leave. They never ever do. I've had one potential one that has done that in my 300 games within the last couple of months. Or even more games, I don't even know. Do they actually just explode when the timeouts are at 0? That's my question. No, they just throw away a card. Okay, yeah. That is very close to a perfect... That is very close to a perfect game if I've ever seen one. Mind you, they stopped playing, though. Or... Well, I did say they stopped playing, didn't leave. I think they were... That's unclear at this stage. But if they did, that's the second one in as many days. That's never happened to be up until that point, though. Odd. Very, very much odd. Alright, cool. 2 wins out from the big goal today. Can't complain. While I have had a lot of angry words at the losses I've had, the losses aren't yet numerous. They could still go there, though. As long as we're not at 10 wins, it could still go to like 300 losses just in a row. The worst one I've had is 10 losses in a row. And it wasn't like... It wasn't even close to stuff that I could win. It was just like absolutely like no chance. Sometimes terrible luck with cards that I pull. Sometimes cheap garbage BS pay-to-win decks. Often both at the same time, though. Okay, but yeah, I need a really quick bathroom break though, so I'll keep on streaming, but I'll take a really quick break of a couple of hot minutes. So if you're watching this on YouTube, smash that like button, like it's the face of that one guy who played the opponent can't win the game card. Literally says that. Punch that like button like that, and then subscribe button. Imagine that it's the eyes of that player who played the card of the opponent can't win. Kick right in the teeth, right there, and that is how the good is made in the world. Have a good one, and see you in the next video. Bye.